welcome back to my YouTube channel, Peace Jones. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. To you guys that are returning, welcome back. Thanks for being consistent. And to you guys that are new, hello and welcome. So in case you didn't know, my channel is composed of a bunch of different things. Number one, healing, because none of us are perfect and we all go through things in life. And this is an open platform for all of us to just be human, right? And heal and learn together, as well as a few different hauls like Trader Joe's hauls and things like that. Also have a dating segment, and then it's also catered to traveling. So tonight we're gonna do a little chat for the dating segment, okay? My dating segment is called the Dating Chronicles. And boom, let's just get into it, okay? So I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the media, the YouTube, social media whole thing. Recently, if you guys know of Derrick Jaxn, he is like I guess you would say a social media influencer technically. I know he started out doing videos on, I believe, just his Instagram, and now like he's on YouTube, I'm sure plenty of other platforms, and he basically does like these quick little short car videos that are dedicated to women that are like going through really tough emotional issues, transitions, times, difficulties, whatever in their relationship. And the thing is, like, I've never been one to really like feed into things like that, or I guess you could say like people like that, because I always feel like, okay, where are you getting all of these answers from? Why are you portraying yourself to be like, I'm not gonna say perfect, but like just so knowledgeable in all of these areas? Like, where did you come from? How did you gain your expertise? You know, I'm always like weary of that, right? Not to say that there aren't just like really great, really experienced, really knowledgeable people in the fields of dating and relationship advice and stuff like that, because there definitely are, right? But I'm just always a little bit weary of it when they just come out of nowhere, because like Derrick Jaxn just came out of nowhere. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have like a degree in this, right? And that's cool. You know, he's sharing his own experiences. He's giving advice, trying to help people get through things. I feel like I do that too, but on a much smaller scale, right? I'm not like out there like he was. He had a huge following. He has a huge following, right? And so you guys can go to his channel, his YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and, you know, get more insight on the types of videos that he does. So just that little background. In recent days, there has been an abundance of infidelity accusations that have come to the surface, right? Now, a lot of people will say like they didn't even know he was married. I know for me, like I said, I didn't follow him heavily, but at one point I did come across his Instagram page, and I was just thinking, like, I had seen him on another podcast that I do really like, and I had seen that he said he was married, but I never like heard of the wife, saw the wife, whatever. And I happened to stumble across his Instagram page, and I noticed that he had like one picture of his wife. And I just thought that was kind of weird, because I'm like, you know, most of the times these influencers, especially if they're males giving dating advice and that's what like their brand is pushing, you would think that they would be sharing their marriage, having their wife on for certain segments, you know, definitely proud and happy to be married, and probably would be more than one picture of his wife. I mean, I don't know. But I thought that was strange, but I was just like, whatever, you know, people do what they want. Some people are more private with their relationships on social media. So I just was like, okay, cool. So apparently I wasn't the only one who thought that, right? So like a bunch of women came out and they were like, yeah, like we didn't even know he was married. Oh, this is like so weird. He's been hiding her. Apparently they've known each other for 12 years at least. They were dating in college. They got married in 2018. They have like a lot of history, and we just never hear about this woman, yet this guy is like a relationship expert, right? So apparently I'm not going to even try and line up these dates and give facts. If you guys want to go check it out, there's 2 YouTube channels in particular that have done like coverage on it, and that's Jovi Beauty's channel and then Tasha K's channel and then his channel if his videos are still up, right? So basically, there's been 3 accusations thus far that Derrick Jaxn has had these affairs with women, right? Now, one of them supposedly came out, but she didn't come out all the way because she got kind of nervous about it. The other 2 came out all the way. They had receipts, they had like timelines, pictures, everything, right? So it's a fact that this happened, right? So Derrick Jaxn tries to, like, you know, hurry up and save himself, salvage his image and his reputation. He makes a video last night basically explaining, you know, what happened, giving his side of the story, the details, more or less admitting to what happened, but basically blaming it on like him not being close to God, him lacking like spiritual direction, him just not being perfect, him being a human. And he just brought like God into it a lot and really didn't seem to take enough accountability for a lot of people, right? And so he ended up taking that video down. I'm not sure why. Some people were saying that it was because like too many people were commenting negative things and he was like trying to delete the comments, and basically like he took it down, right? So then today, I guess he felt the need to really prove himself. He was just gonna go all out and just like make us believe it, right? Because he's clearly like really bothered by his image being tarnished, right? So he goes ahead and makes this like short little video with his wife. I think it might have been like 10 minutes or whatever, right? So he brings the wife into it. The wife is basically saying like, yeah, she knew about it all along. There's nothing in the public that she didn't already know about. It's true. She had left, you know, now she's back. They're trying to work on the marriage. She's like a strong Christian, a strong believer in God. Apparently he was just saved like last year, and now he's a strong believer in God. So basically like they're centering their marriage around God, and they're just trying to work through these issues. They said they've sought out like counseling, and I believe they have like a priest that they're working with, things like that, right? Okay, and then after that video, he went and made another live, which ended up being a video as well, where she basically like goes a little bit more in depth. She talks about how she did leave, how she does have self-respect, how this has been going on for a long time, how the only reason why she's back now is because you know, she heard some message from God, or like God directed her back and his behaviors changed and he sought out Christ and all this stuff. So basically at the end of the day, they're trying to work it out, right? But like if you watch the video, so a lot of people are basically saying like Derrick Jaxn is a complete narcissist. Like he has this woman under his control. She's like so broken down and so hurt that she just can't even think for herself. She can't talk for herself. And if you actually watch the video, there's like a bunch of body language issues going on. There's a bunch of like just really weird things that you'll pick up on in the video. He's like holding onto her arm for dear life. He like keeps pulling her arm closer. He's squeezing her hand. Somebody said at one point he like elbowed her. He's giving that look that a lot of narcissists give when they're like, you know, trying to control you, like just staring in your face as you explain your side of the story with hopes that you don't make them look bad or you don't say the wrong thing. And he just appeared to be like very jittery in his first video. He's like going above and beyond to prove himself, like literally pulling up email threads and text messages, trying to show the viewers the dates and trying to make things align and make sense. And it's just like really cringy and bothersome to someone who is like, you know, intelligent and aware and can see right through it, right? And so a lot of people's concern is that, you know, a lot of men didn't like him because a lot of men viewed his videos as like male bashing. A lot of people will also say that he catered to a certain demographic of women And that would be definitely like, you know, single black women or single black mothers or like, you know, broken black women. And it was basically like preying on them because they are always looking for hope. They're always trying to find love. And he's just feeding into that, you know? So he's like coming up with all these grand scenarios. And you just almost wonder, like, how do you know all these things take place? I mean, it was like the topics were just spot on. Like every woman was like, dang, I've been through that. I've been through that. I've been through that. Like I remember looking at some of his videos like, yo, how do you know all of this stuff to a T? Like, granted, you are a man, but still, like, how is it that you're just so spot on with like all of your videos? And a lot of people were saying that, you know, a lot of the reason why he was so good at what he did was because he was explaining from his point of view. He was explaining what he had done. He was explaining things that took place in his own life and just breaking it down and like pushing off all of those like negative stigmas and beliefs and stereotypes onto other men, right? So like basically, let's say the video was like, why is he pulling away and treating you like crap, right? But in actuality, it would have been something that he just did to apparently his wife, and he's like explaining it in a manner that's like, oh, men ain't shit because you know, they do this, or like a man isn't this and that because this and that, or you know, you're dealing with a subpar man because this and that, basically portraying himself to be like this just godly, phenomenally faithful, amazing, angelic man, right? So now that you guys have the background, you can go to his page and check it out. You can go to Jovi Beauty. You can go to Tasha K. I'm sure by now a ton of other YouTubers have covered it, right? But what I wanted to touch on is, what can we learn from this, right? So this is my thing. I think I'm also going to do a video on Kevin Samuels because that's like a whole nother topic, right? And I've always had like a lot to say about that topic. But for now, we'll stick to Derrick, okay? So this is my thing, right? I've noticed that with men, a lot of the times, men that really aren't these great men, right? They aren't these phenomenal men. They aren't these perfect men. They go out of their way to try and paint others in a bad light, right? And I'm sure women probably do it too, right? And I feel like if you are a decent human, of course you can still speak on it. Of course you can still give your input. Of course you can still give advice, right? But if you're taking it above and beyond and you're just like branding yourself on it and you're like, you know, talking down on other men, you have to make sure that your ducks are in a row and that you're actually amounting to this person that you portray yourself to be, right? And I think a lot of times on social media that we just take everything for face value, right? So like if there's a girl who has a YouTube channel that's totally focused on like, I don't know, not bringing down other black women and just being like a positive, uplifting black soul sister, right? And then come to find out, like, she's always in drama, she's always gossiping about someone, she like did a ton of things to sabotage other black women, right? Then we're like, oh my gosh, like, not perfect uplifting Betty. And it's like, yeah, perfect uplifting Betty, because, you know, you can't keep taking everything for face value on social media, right? Like, we're all humans, and that's why I just said my channel is focused and geared towards people that are human. They know they're human. They know they have flaws, and we can just sit here and chat and heal and talk and work it on out, because I know I'm not perfect, and I know I'm human, and I know I still have things that I need to work on, and I have flaws and things. So, you know, come to this channel and be real, right? We don't need any more channels of like fake people portraying themselves as being perfect, right? And I think that Derrick Jaxn did address that, and I think that he did acknowledge that. And hey, we're gonna cut him some slack for that. We're gonna give him some grace for that, because he even though he portrayed himself to be one way, he didn't legit say he was perfect, right? So now that he's made a mistake, we kind of gotta be like, okay, people make mistakes, right? But it's just the way that he like went about things, the way that he tore down, like, or not tore down other men, but just like, you know, put other men in a bad light, right? Made it seem like if a guy isn't doing this and that, like he's not worth it. Or if a guy does this and that, he's not this and that. Or a husband should be doing this. If you're separated, you shouldn't be doing that. A good man does this. A strong man does that. And it's like you have women all over the world literally questioning their relationships, literally, you know, cutting off men, canceling men, not going on dates, not working out their marriages, not going back to work out a relationship because of what you're saying a man should or shouldn't be, right? So women, men, whoever was watching it, like we have to be more aware of what we're taking in from people that we don't even know, from people that aren't even experts. And even if they are experts, like I think that it's very important for us to start taking our situationships, friendships into our own hands and literally thinking for ourselves. Like it's fine to seek counsel, it's fine to get advice, but like don't make that your number one deciding factor in how you move forward, right? So let's say like I have a falling out with a friend and I do desire to reconcile with them, to work things out, talk things out, and be friends again, right? I may talk to another friend just to see like, okay, am I tripping? You know, let me get some advice. Do you feel the same way? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with them? And then move forward. But I'm still at the end of the day gonna take into consideration my thoughts, my opinions, how I think I should handle it. What type of friend were they? Is it worth reconciling? You know, do I feel that they really made a mistake? Was it genuine? Was it spiteful? Like whatever, right? I'm going to consider the other person's advice, but I'm not going to be like, boom, like they said, don't do that. I'm not going to do that, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all adults. And I think that a lot of times this is what messes up a lot of your situations is that number one, you're comparing them to someone on social media that's telling you something that they don't know half about, right? A lot of times when we're preaching as we work through it. Like I know a lot of things that I say, I'm learning as I'm saying them, or I'm practicing them as I'm saying them, right? So clearly I'm not a master of it yet, right? Then on top of that, I think that everyone's situation, relationship, friendships are so different and unique. The things that take place, the types of personalities, the types of character, the people, the magnitude, the history, like there's so much that goes into it, and you can't just take block number 2 and block number 3 and smash them together and be like, boom, like, yeah, this is perfect, this is gonna work. Like, no, block number 2 was his relationship and his issues and his girlfriend and her personality. Block number 3 is yours. So you can't, there's like not a cookie cutter answer to things. There's not a cookie cutter way about going about things. And I think that we really as adults need to start dismantling things when they go wrong, breaking them down, taking time to figure them out, have communication with that person, use logic, like common sense, right? If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Yeah, sometimes it sounds good to hear someone else say, well, it's a nice, gentle, fluffy duck, but it's still a duck, right? So a lot of times the situations that we're in, we just want to hear somebody ease us down lightly, but we know what it is, right? We know what we should do. And a lot of those times where we really don't know what we should do, maybe we should seek advice from someone who knows us, or who knows the other person, who can genuinely give us solid advice, not just a random person, right? Because when we listen to random people and we put them on this pedestal and we assume that because they're putting out all this content about themselves being a great high value man that's loving and telling other men how to love their women, telling other men where they went wrong loving their women, giving all this advice and these strategies and methods, we assume that they're Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, right? And then it comes as a surprise and a smack in the face when we find out that they aren't. And for these past few years, we've been following and taking all of their advice, right? So, end of the day, Derrick Jaxn, you handle your situation. Hope that you guys get it together. And for my viewers, that is what I think that we can take from it, right? Definitely start to tap out of social media influencers and what they have to say about your life and your situations, right? And tap into your reality and start being your own advice giver, right? Start dismantling those situations. Start looking at red flags. Start looking at issues within yourself, right? Because that's where a lot of these things start. We don't like to think there's anything wrong with us. But sweetie, why do you always attract men that steal from you or that beat on you or whatever else, right? There's some void within you that you see these signs and you continue to desire these types of men because what? Something in you is broken, right? Not to say that anyone ever deserves to get hit. However, I will say there's a certain type of men that some women go after over and over and over again. And you see the red signs, you know what it looks like, you kind of know like where it's gonna go, and you just keep putting yourself in these situations, right? Same with men. Why is it that you keep on finding women that are using you? Only thing they want is money. They're just there for clout. They want a designer bag. They want to go here and there. Why is it? There's something in you that's attracting women that are just trying to take, and have nothing to give, right? So yeah, that is it for tonight, and I will see you guys again next time.